You know?
Yeah. Alright, we back with another episode. Factology. What is it? 45?
45.
45. Let's get it back. We back.
You want a bigger, better cake.
I keep that 45 on me
You
too.
make it.
Yes, sir.
Y'all know that song?
Muzzy.
Isn't that the Lazy Town?
That's a Lazy Town shit. Yes, sir.
I missed that show.
Oh,
That's
God.
crazy.
Cool, back.
The Wiggles was my shit. I fucked with the Wiggles.
Nah, the Wiggles was my shit. Y'all be on TikTok?
Yeah.
Alright, bro. If y'all go on TikTok, right, and y'all look up bad Wiggles, bro, these 3 girls, and like they got wigs on.
Say I won't look right now.
They the baddest.
They look like 6
Marty, you look like you know what I'm talking
I
about.
haven't seen it.
Yup. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna put you on right now. If you're on TikTok and you look at the bad Wiggles, those are some mwah. Chef's kiss on them. They are some very beautiful women. Anyway, how y'all doing?
I'm chilling, bro. How y'all
You know what I'm
doing?
saying?
How
How's
the rest of
everybody's
y'all?
week? You know
I
what
am
I'm saying?
tired
Week
as
is alright.
shit.
Yeah, I've been working a lot.
I got a new job.
Than my son, bro. Stop it.
I ain't gonna lie, we all tired as fuck today.
OD.
Yo, by the way, like, I know all y'all watching the video version right now. Me, Nichols, and fucking Shanjay, we look bright as motherfucking shit. But
All I'm
Shanjay
saying-
not... Man,
I was hot, bro. I'm
All I'm
sorry.
shaking
saying,
my head,
all I'm
bro.
saying
It's
is
hot.
Red is sus, bro. Red is
It's hot.
sus.
I know you peep.
Chill, bro. I know y'all people.
Y'all peep.
Hold on, y'all see? Hold on.
Hold on, should I go get mine?
I know audio version.
I got
Bro,
white
you
suit.
was supposed to be wearing it.
He's not wearing it.
Alright, cut.
No.
Alright, we gonna let Muzzy keep going.
Muzzy wanted.
Alright, we gonna keep talking because you know these niggas is not on timing. Put it on.
I forgot to bring my mask.
God damn.
Y'all, yo,
Look
what's
at
up
us.
with y'all,
Look
bro?
at
We
us
on
going
some
crazy.
shit today.
Anyways, for those listening, we got the Factology merch.
Yes, sir. Right after
Now
this.
I'm white and he's black. We are among us, bro. That's crazy.
And right after this, we about to go shoot, you know, the little pictures and stuff like that. And we gonna drop the merch next week.
Y'all see
so
that?
I hope y'all hyped for that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see it. You know what I'm saying? I know we very much behind on the YouTube. We just want to apologize for that real quick. We have been extremely busy between, you know, me and Nichols, you know, doing our own thing, being in LA, and then the guys working pretty hard. You know what I'm saying? We've all been pretty fucking busy, so we haven't had the time to get everything done that we needed to get done, but we gonna get back onto it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get back on the grind. You know what I'm saying? All the videos we haven't dropped is gonna end up getting dropped. We finally got most of them edited, so they gonna get dropped on YouTube. Thanks, Muzzy, finding in the work, you know, finding the time to even
I've
just got a
been
job.
slacking, but I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yo, matter of fact, yo, let's get a little round of applause for Muzzy for getting a new job. You know what I'm saying? We congratulate that around here.
You guys just show me appreciation? That's
You
crazy.
see, that's what happens when you gas this nigga. He takes it and he runs with it.
Yeah, bro, I have to, bro. It's my whole facade. You know, it's my.
No, he's like that in real life. That's not his facade.
It's a facade.
It's my characteristic.
Spell facade, nigga.
You said what?
This nigga gonna spell.
Nah, put your phone away.
Alright.
Spell facade,
You want me to
nigga.
spell facade?
Go ahead.
Siri not gonna help the bitch
Yeah.
ass nigga.
You said you want me to spell facade?
Oh
This bitch
yeah,
is
that bitch will not help you.
Exactly. Spell it with a PH. Go ahead.
Alright, PH.
That's nice.
That's not even how you spell it. Boom.
You did that to me, bro?
You walk right into that.
That's how we know you don't know how to spell
Crazy.
facade.
This nigga ain't know how to spell
Hey,
facade.
I don't know how to spell it, but my vocabulary is
So
up there.
spell it.
Alright, what's your vocabulary?
So
nigga?
what does facade mean?
Faking.
It's not faking.
Well, it's pretty much putting on a persona.
So spell it.
Nigga,
You ducking the question. Spell it.
I don't know how to spell it. Like, I thought that was a...
Facade.
Wow.
What he said?
E.
Huh?
Yeah.
That joint got an E at the end.
Yeah.
You don't know how to
No,
spell
I
it
said
either.
Nah, he said
you
D.
said D.
I said Facade.
Oh,
Cat.
you did. He
No, you didn't.
I did say E.
I
Now
heard
see,
it.
all y'all hearing is
Alright,
like,
so
don't like shit.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Nigga, he even said it right.
I bit my tongue in the middle of
He
that shit.
even say it right. Pump ass nigga.
Expialidocious. Yeah.
Yo,
Moving on.
Muzzy, English. Anyways, yeah.
That shit don't work for me sometimes.
It never, bro.
Yeah, I be speaking Muzzy.
No cap.
Alright, but like we were saying, yo, Factology merch drop next week. I hope y'all ready for that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna drop that real quick, and we have a lot more things coming.
This check that y'all getting this week, don't spend it on bills or nothing. Get that shit.
Honestly, bro, all further checks, it better be on merch. That's all I'm saying.
If you get evicted, buy a hoodie. That shit gonna keep you.
It's
nice
gonna
and
keep you
warm.
warm, bro.
Facts.
Honestly, what would you rather have? A
Need a
house
house.
or something to keep you warm?
Facts.
You don't need a car.
You don't need that.
Do you want me to answer that?
You don't need food.
Shut up.
Don't
Yo,
answer.
of course it'd be the one guy not wearing the merch right now.
Black
What
is
side
sus,
you
bro.
on? What
This
side
nigga
you on?
black
Black
is
is
sus.
sus, bro.
What side you on, bro?
I think he's
Yeah.
imposter.
Facts. Vote this nigga out, bro.
Stop it.
Alright, so let me get into the first topic of today. So today,
Nah, go ahead. Keep
man's
going.
on motorcycle need to chill, but yeah.
Muzzy's block.
So
You right.
we have Muzzy's crib today, by the way. But first thing I wanted to talk about today was the lure of unpredictability. So this is something that I've actually been thinking about myself.
There's a lore for unpredictability?
Yes. And let me explain it.
Yeah, go ahead. That shit sound weird.
Right? So what I mean by the lure of unpredictability is kind of like the attraction of not really knowing what's gonna happen next, or the attraction to something that is unpredictable. Because like obviously knowing what's gonna happen next is nice, but sometimes you're just like you want something new in your life. You want something that's gonna surprise you every once in a while. Something that you don't really expect, something that's gonna catch you off guard. And I feel like a lot of people in general, including me, I'm very guilty of this. This is why I wanted to bring this up, is just the lure of unpredictability. Because I know that personally, I've had a lot of introspection going on. Like I've had to think to myself, and lately I have been trying to understand like myself and a lot of decisions that I've made personally throughout my life, especially in relationships. I know that personally, I had a conversation with Nichols, and I told Nichols that there's something that I wanted to figure out about myself, and why is it that I previously was so attracted to toxic women or toxic traits, or why myself attract toxic people or people with toxic capabilities or toxic traits. And I believe is because I had such a strong sense or a strong want or a strong lure for unpredictability. Like just feeling like I wanted to deal with something that I couldn't really tell the future on, or like something I just didn't know the answer to. Because in a lot of ways, I kind of look at myself as like, I feel like a lot of the time I have an answer to something, or like, I feel like I have a certain path where I can just look at something and I kind of know where to go from then on. Yeah. And I feel like being on that path for so long, I feel like I just naturally built up an attraction to people that can break my sense of, I know the one path. Someone that's going to kind of just intersect and just kind of crash on me. And then just make me like feel like, okay, this is something I didn't expect. Which is really weird for me, because it was like, in chasing that, I also put myself in a lot of situations that I shouldn't have been in. Because like in chasing the adventure or the want for something I didn't know, in a way I also put myself in situations that ended up resulting in my own faults, or end up putting me in places that I didn't really want to be in. But I just want to know, like, y'all opinions on that, or if y'all have any experience with that as well.
You just put me in like a super bag. This whole time I was thinking like, yo, I hope this nigga's bike blow up. But then I started actually listening to you, and now I'm just like, wow.
I personally feel like most relationships are kind of unpredictable. Even the ones that are so-and-so not toxic, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I feel like you go in not really expecting anything. You just expect to get the energy reciprocated. You expect to be with that person. It's not so as like, oh, shit is always going to work out. Like, shit is always going to be like, what do you call it? Honey and sunshine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
there's definitely situations that I've seen personally where people are great for 50 years, and then that 51st year that they fucking hate each other and they end up fucking, separating, and the energy is just off.
I feel like most of life is unpredictable. Mm-hmm. Like, what I was trying to break down for Stephon, I feel like the way to avert that, I was basically telling him, try to find out how whoever you're talking to solves problems. So,
yeah, that's a fact.
For me specifically, I would ask questions like, what have you been through, and like, what's something that you've been through, and how have you solved that? And knowing how they solve that problem is going to let you know, like, oh, yeah, this is how you're going to solve future problems. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of avert that English, fuck, unpredictability factor. But in Stephon's case, this nigga was chasing that shit. That's crazy. But you know,
The way how I see it is, like Chandra said, life is very unpredictable. But the reason why you chase toxic women is because that's like the only thing that is not a mystery. Because you dealt with it so many times, so it's like very common, and you know how it looks like, you know how it feels like, you know what it smells like and shit. So, you know, I don't think the being with toxic women is the unpredictable part of it. Is not separating yourself from it.
I mean, I disagree. I feel like, at least from what Stefan's saying, like what attracts him to these women is the fact that they're unpredictable.
Yeah, they are a mystery.
Yeah, it's like I feel like that the reason that's a problem, especially when it comes to relationships, is that if someone is really that unpredictable, that mysterious to you, you don't really know them enough.
I mean,
So
somebody could
getting
be.
into a relationship with someone like that when you don't know, like Nico said, how they deal with issues. You don't know how they react to things. You don't know, like, you don't have a basic understanding of who they are as a person. If you don't know that, and what you're attracted to is the fact that, oh shit, like, this girl is different. Like, oh, I've never been with a girl like this. Different isn't always good.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think the thing is that sometimes people will get mysterious or like, you know, shit like that mixed with like spontaneous. Like you could meet somebody who is not toxic but also spontaneous. You know, they could still have the unpredictability about them, but you know, if they're mysterious and like you said, like I don't even know how to explain it in words. To be honest, I'm trying to it's like right here, but it's not really coming out. Like
I think you're trying to say that you can have the mystery and the unpredictability that you're attracted to without the necessarily toxic traits, the negative traits.
yes, and the toxic traits
like
is what.
spontaneity
Yeah.
is a good thing.
Yeah, and the toxic traits is what you're attracted to. Not because you're attracted to it, but it's because it's the most like recognizable thing that you know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this doesn't only apply to relationships, though. It applies to life, period.
Working,
Like,
all that shit.
even us with
ourselves.
like for example, Nichols with his comedy and his YouTube career. That's unpredictable.
That's
He doesn't
where
know
I
he's
see
gonna
you
go.
from. You're a YouTuber. That's crazy.
He's an
I think
asshole.
of he got his whole showering on. His eye red.
Chill, bro. Chill. It's a Easter egg.
And he gonna rub it again? Yo.
It's
He
an Easter
doesn't.
egg.
Nichols doesn't know where that's gonna lead.
I'm sorry, not yet.
Chandra with his art and his clothes, Stefan with his music and his dancing, me with film and videography, you with editing and all of this stuff. Like, we're pursuing it, and we have no idea if we're gonna be successful. We have no idea if we're gonna really achieve the things that we hope for ourselves. But that makes us want to work harder.
Oh,
I think we
successful.
all have the idea. So
I'm gonna be successful.
yeah, I think we all have the idea of what we're doing is going to lead to success. It's just we don't know when it's gonna happen.
Yeah, my shit is.
This podcast episode could blow up today, and then we're all rich as fuck tomorrow.
But then also, we can speak it into existence. We can believe it ourselves, but that doesn't, like, we don't know what the universe has in store for us. We could believe that we're gonna find success with this thing, and then 5 years from now, holy shit, I'm really good at this.
Yeah.
And then we blow off of that, or we find success through that. Life is a constant journey. It's constantly changing. You're constantly.
And we young as fuck too. So.
That's an actual
Exactly.
fact. I can speak from experience. Like my first video, I put out like a rant. That joint was never. I was never supposed to be the guy on YouTube or Facebook that rants. Like when I was supposed to like write skits and do shit like that. Bruh, first video niggas was fucking with. I was like, oh, y'all like this? Okay, I'll put out more, and then boom,
Here you are today.
bow.
Yeah.
So, and now you're on a different path. You're on a like literally. You guys, even me, I don't even completely know what Nichols is doing. but y'all niggas have no idea. Like it's going in a completely different direction.
Y'all niggas are
OD.
And I'm sure that even if this isn't the thing that is gonna bring him success, one thing is, you know, Nichols, we all, I feel, are insanely talented in many different ways, insanely resourceful and useful. Like, people need us.
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about what you said with success, though. That's a definite fact. Like, in the field that we're trying to, like, pursue, success isn't guaranteed unless you make it guaranteed. But the thing about this is, our success can come 5 days later, or can come 5 years later, or 10 years later. It's just about how we capitalize off that, and we got.
Makes you more like that motivates you.
Yeah, like, definitely.
I
feel like if I work harder, it'll come faster. That's the reason why I work harder. So, fuck with that.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of my life has very much been like dealing with the unpredictable. Cause I remember at one point in my life, like I thought I was gonna be like, I thought I was gonna be a dancer for like a living. You know what I'm saying? My main goal was to become a popular dancer, be in like fucking Step Up movies, and like, you know what I'm saying, like be on World of Dance and all that type of shit. And that was a large part of my life. I thought that was gonna be like my journey. Until at one point I was just like, dance isn't really my main passion anymore. And then, you know, I started picking up other things, and now my main focus is like is like far from dance. You know what I'm saying? Like dance, yeah, like fashion has become like my main thing. And like if you would have told me that like a couple years ago, if you would have told me that fashion would have been my main like focus, I would have looked at you like, what? I have no drip whatsoever. Like I don't even know how to dress properly. What you talking about?
5 years ago, you told me I was gonna want to make movies one day. I would have looked at you like, you stupid nigga. I don't even like watching movies.
Like it's so crazy. Like it's like your mindset is always constantly changing, and your interest is always changing. So it's just like, at one point you think, oh, I'm gonna be doing this for a living, and then at another point it's just like, I don't even really like doing this anymore, but I really like doing something else. And like I feel like as long as you're always welcome to that change, you know what I'm saying, that lure for unpredictability can either be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. And it's all about how you look at life and how you look at whatever, you know, is luring you to that.
That's so true, because I started off ranting, right, on YouTube, and then boom, I started making skits, and then boom, I'm making AMVs and shit. So like, it's true, like you just gotta be open to constantly changing and upgrading and stuff like that. Like this man Chandra picked up Photoshop one day. Now this man's making custom jeans and shit.
I fucking went on Photoshop. I was like, this shit look fun. Might as well. I'm not gonna hold you. Julio knows this. I was set on being a doctor for the rest of my life. Like,
I'm not gonna cap.
3 years ago, bro.
I cannot imagine.
Really? Yeah.
Chandra, doctor.
You know when we were in high school, bro, Chandra was taking AP bio classes. Nigga went to college, was majoring in bio, going crazy.
You know what's funny? I could relate to that crazy, because I guess like my side passion, but besides dancing, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer so bad, because since I was like a little kid, like people were always telling me like I had the ability to be like a lawyer, just the way I talk and the way I can handle certain things. Is like people are always telling me like, yo, you'd make a really good lawyer or whatever. So that was like, yo, if I don't blow up dancing, I'm gonna be a fire lawyer. Like
I used to get that.
I went to college for criminal justice.
I went to college.
I was
the
gonna be a
same
lawyer.
thing. I thought I was gonna work on cars my whole life. Because cars has been my passion since I was a kid.
Still, guys.
OD, still. But I thought I was gonna be like a designer, like a mechanical. I went to school for mechanical engineering, and I thought I was gonna be like a straight automotive designer. I thought I was gonna be nice. I wanted to be
Pimp my ride.
kind of sort of, but not really. But
I heard you like YouTube, so we gonna put a laptop as a steering wheel.
Nigga always got like 8 speakers in the trunk.
Yo, I heard for that shit they only customize a car, and it would be like some old jalopy that wouldn't even move, and they just customize and make it look nice, and wouldn't even drive.
And it won't break down like the next day.
That's crazy. But yeah,
that's wild.
And I, you know, I feel like that. Oh fuck, my voice cracked and shit.
No,
I feel like a lot of that has to deal with the fact that for most of our lives, a lot of us, especially since like we all have minority parents, it's drilled into us that we have to go the safe route. Like we have to have the practical big job. So like we've all like just had that in our minds that like we have to be something, you know, that makes a lot of money and like is like business oriented and like, you know, like we have to be like the part of like the main path. But then all of us being mentally creatives, you know, at some point, you know, you look at that path and you're just like, that doesn't feel like me.
I feel limited in that situation. And the fact is, the internet is so abundant now, bro. If you told me 5 years ago that TikTok and all this other shit you could blow up off of fucking standing in front of your camera and dancing, I look at you like you fucking insane, bro. But and the funny thing is, my mom, I had a conversation with my mom recently that I want to do shit for the internet, and she accepted it. She supported it. I was surprised because I was like, yo, you wasn't brought up that way, so why do you see it like that? And she told me that she sees how the internet has evolved over the years, like. So,
yeah, I mean, it's not just us that's developing.
Yeah,
like, we're developing it as individuals, but society is developing into something different too.
It's funny. I have like the same thing like with my mom, right? So like obviously I've been a dancer since I was like a little kid. I started taking dance seriously when I was in the 7th grade, and like my dad is a musician. Like he used to be in a band. So like he always like wanted me to like be like, you know, talented or like, you know, to be part of that creative like flow. But my mom was always the one that was like, you have to do this and this. Like you have to be on a certain path.
Your dad was Goku, your mom was Chi-Chi.
Low key. And the funny thing about that is that like when I started telling my mom that I wanted to be like a dancer and I started showing her like the dance videos on YouTube that I had and all that, like it was really weird when she started like supporting it, you know? And like she was just like, she just knew me as like, you know, like she knew I wanted to be a certain thing. But I would say that like my mom always still had the, you know, like, yo, make sure you go to college thing, right? But recently, and I've been telling this a lot to Nick, was like recently me and my mother's relationship has like gotten 10 times better than it's ever been my entire life. And it has a lot to do with the fact that like me mentally, I've changed a lot mentally, especially over this entire year. It's something about 2020 just put me in like a chrysalis, and like it just had me just mentally challenging myself over and over again. And I feel like I'm leaving this year way more mentally powerful than I've ever been my entire life.
Same.
I'm dead ready for 2021. That is.
And like obviously like I just changed the entire way I interact with my mother. And now me and her are like the best of friends. And like just me talking to my mom about all the things I do, she's way more understanding now. Like she sees me, you know, doing whatever I want to do for a living. Like even like with the podcast, like she doesn't know like anything of how this whole thing works. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes she gets a little annoyed when I have all the guys over at my crib on Friday, you know, we're there for too long. But she's still very understanding because she understands it's something I want to do. And she's like, hey, this is like your business. I support you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because me and mom, we just be talking about things now. And like she sees that I'm getting into the fashion and all of that. It's funny because the other day my mom, I walked in the kitchen. She was like, oh, Stephon, she was like, you want to know what's funny? I was like, what's up? She was like, how she was telling me that she was watching one of those dance shows. I don't remember which one, but she was like how like some young kid won the dance show, and how he came home and dropped like $30,000 on the table for his mom. And he was like, yo, they hate ass for you. She was like, Stephon, you know how nice if you did that for me? And I was just like, yo, come on.
It's funny, I could then see you in a dance competition too.
Like it's funny because she said that, and me and her were laughing about it, and I was like, yo, you gotta wait. I told her it's gonna happen.
Every mom wants that. They want you to just change their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Shout
just
out.
change the entire shit.
Shout out to Mama Sorrow, bro.
Oh God,
No
like,
lie, bro. I'm a very firm believer in a man cannot be a great man without a great woman in his corner. That doesn't have to be.
I believe
That doesn't have to be a significant other. That could be your mother. And for me, my whole life has been my mother. Now I have a woman in my life, but like I feel like I've been mentally a man from a very young age because she's prepared me that way. It was just her, and she raised me that way.
Yeah, that's a
And I'm glad that you're getting closer with your moms, man, because I've had that my whole life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
you see, and the funny thing about that is right, is that I feel like me and you both, like we've been mentally prepared to be a man, but like in slightly different ways. Because for me, I've had to mentally just grow up by like years, because early on in my life, like my dad wasn't around too much. I have a little brother, and in a way, like I had to be that like authoritative figure for him. And like, so since I've been like young, I've had to teach myself what is the best way I can teach, him, in a way that a father can. And in a lot of situations, it's put me like, and it's like, yo, like I feel like I'm being forced to be a father right now, which is why in a lot of situations, me and my own father have had like altercations.
Yeah, it's kind of that like I feel you. It's kind of like fuck, nigga, like you supposed to be here for us, and now I gotta be here. For
I
you.
have to do your job.
I'm young, like I'm supposed to be a kid right now.
Yeah, I'm supposed to like I'm supposed to not really care about all of this type of shit.
But I'm not gonna hold you. That shit, I'm not gonna. It's prepared me.
Yeah.
Taking care of my little brother has prepared me for the world, to be honest.
So, my bad.
You good, bro.
I
Continue.
just had a question since the phrases kept coming up. What does it mean to be a man? For the listeners who probably heard that, because you guys said that multiple times.
I don't know.
And that's very interesting as well, because I did want to bring that up because I don't think he has a problem me saying his name on the podcast, but his name is Juliano. Yeah, he's a kid that I've actually known for a while now. I've known him personally because he came to my DMs because he was a fan of mine. We ended up just having conversations. But he did hit up the podcast Instagram a while ago and asked us what it means to be a man. And I feel like we never really got around to answering that question.
So let's answer it.
But yeah, we can definitely answer that question now. I personally feel like to be a man, and like there's a lot of like social like issues with what it like the whole quote like what it means to be a man. Because some people think it's to be like the head of the household, the one always in charge. You know what I'm saying? In a way, there's like slight truth to that. In my opinion, I feel like in order to be a man, you have to be willing to own up to taking responsibility for many things. You have to and I feel like being a man means understanding the privilege of being a man, like what the privilege that comes with being a man is.
All right, can we talk about this? I'm not the only. I don't see male privilege. Like I don't see that as a legitimate issue. The only
Why did you say it's an issue?
I don't see it as a legit. Yeah, people say, "Oh, male privilege," like, "Oh, male privilege is male privilege that." The only male privilege I see is white male privilege and male privilege in the sense that when I go outside, I don't have to be scared about men doing things to me and taking advantage of me.
I used to feel like that, but then I started chilling with women, and then they started getting excited about being able to go out at night with me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's the
only thing
that's what I'm saying. I didn't say like it's like something like demonized. I don't believe it's an issue like how a lot of other people bring it up, but I do think male privilege is a thing. I do believe that when it comes to being a man, obviously there are things that it's easier for men. Sometimes some things are easier for women. But when it comes to being a man, it's just that like we live kind of completely separate lifestyles. And when I say male privilege, it's just more so understanding that because there is woman privilege as well. And if somebody tries to tell me there isn't, they're lying out their ass. I fully believe there is woman privilege as well. I just believe that understanding that you have a male privilege is just more so understanding that you live a separate kind of lifestyle than how women live their own lifestyles. Yeah. Like for us, like even like with the whole going outside thing, woman goes outside, she's more likely to be scared for being outside because life is actually more dangerous for women when they're by themselves after night. But when it comes to men, what I'm saying, it's a lot easier for.
That's true in the sense of like being worried about men like snatching you up or like raping you or violating you, but men are more likely to be killed in the street. Like,
that's true.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not denying.
Yeah, we go
that.
through.
I'm saying that there's a balance. So
That's what
male privilege.
So I feel like
we're different.
I think the one should be a benefit.
There it is. I feel like the problem is with the word privilege because with privilege, it's like I have something over you that you don't have.
Yeah.
But I feel like we do balance it out because we go through different shit. Like I have an easier time going out at night. She may have an easier time doing something else or whatever than I do.
Yeah, I guess privilege is the word that could be changed. But like I said, what I mean, we're kind of on the same page anyway. Like that's why I said like we we just, it's just more so understanding that we live
Differently.
differently. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there is women benefits, there are like male benefits. Downsides. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to cut. I just want to get back to the original question.
I was gonna get right back to that.
But I wanted to answer that question. What I feel like being a man is, because most people, they be like, yo, what's the definition of being a man? They be like, yo, take care of your family, blah blah, be on your family. But most men, some men don't have families.
Yeah,
so
some men
what
don't
does it
want families.
really mean to be a man? I feel like for me personally, is being in control of your emotions and your mental, just anything that has to do with your mentality. You just got to be in control. That's when you reach peak manhood, when you're in control of that. Because I feel like the downfall of most men is sexual desires with women or whatever you feel, or just desires in general. Like, motherfuckers disregard their own well-being for what they want to do, or like, all right, fuck, let me go out and drink, or let me go out and smoke. You're a man if you can control that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I feel like the peak of being a man is understanding your emotions and being able to how do I say this? Being able to understand like what are the things you can do, what are the things you can't do, how to handle certain situations in a more mature in a quote unquote manly way. Not denying your emotions, because I feel like men who deny their emotions, I don't really think you are the peak of a man. I just think you're a man who is somewhat flawed, but you try to ignore the fact that you're flawed. I feel like men in general should understand their flaws and understand how to either work around them or understand how to work with them. You don't believe you're higher than women. And like, cause I feel like a lot of men feel as if, as a man, I have to be the one that's above, like the top of the food chain, the one that's always in charge and shit. But like, I feel like as a man, you have to understand that you can look eye to eye with a woman who could possibly be on the same level of power as you, or higher, and be content with that, rather than feeling like insecure at the fact that a woman can look at you and be at the same level or maybe higher than you. But definitely I feel like the most key part of being a man is control of your emotions.
I really like what Nickel said about, some men don't have families. I think really what being a man is about is having qualities. There are certain qualities that men should have, and I don't think it's about hiding your emotions, you're bottling them. I think it's about knowing the right times to express them. I think it's about knowing knowing the right way to act around people, around women, around children, around being able to be a natural protector without like you said,
Looking down on
belittling
people,
women or
people,
belittling just others. I don't think every man has to be an alpha. Like, I think there are men who aren't alphas and they're still great men, and they still benefit and influence the people that they need to in the right way. And I think that's what's important about a man. I think that's why you need a male figure. Like, that's why you need a father. That's why you need an older brother and an uncle, or just a role model. Because as a man, if you weren't influencing someone in some way, you're not doing something right.
And you know what's funny? I used to have I used to actually be I used to enforce the whole, in order to protect someone, I accidentally ended up belittling them. Like, I used to be guilty of that, I would say.
Me too.
Yeah, I definitely used to do that, and I had to learn that myself, because there were situations where I felt like, oh, I'm a man, like, so I have to protect you, or I have to look over you, or I have to make sure you're good, or I have to do something, you know what I'm saying? And in doing that, I made a person feel like less of a person and more of someone I just had to protect because they were just around me, or they were a significant other.
That's exactly how I was with my sister, man. Growing up, my pops, I didn't see him often. I would see him, like I told you guys, like once a year. But when I did see him, he'd always instill that thing into me, like, yo, you gotta protect your mom, you gotta protect your sister, you gotta protect your mom, you gotta protect your sister, and that was just on my mind all the time. And I was just extremely overly protective. And with my sister especially, like, it got to the point where she didn't want to tell me things. She didn't feel comfortable coming to me with things because she thought that I would overreact or that I'd want to fight some nigga. I want to, like, just do the most. And I think that's another part of being a man is knowing how to react. Like, you have to know that not every situation requires that energy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know that there are ways to diffuse situations or even intimidate individuals without physical confrontation.
It's like kind of understanding not every action requires a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just have to understand that there are a better way to handle things, or some things just don't require a reaction from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some things could happen and you could just be like, this is better if I just ignore it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and I feel like this is something I also had to learn, is that sometimes your reaction just fuels the situation. It makes it worse. Some things are legit better just ignoring. Like, with some people, and I realize that so much is that some people feed off of, like, the reaction of people. Like, some toxic people, they look at someone and they say, I would love to get this person upset right now. And you getting upset is just making them feel like, oh, I want to do this more often. So, like, you just have to understand that some people, or some situations just don't require all the energy or the reaction from it.
But all of this, it takes time.
100%.
I mean, I'm going to be 40 years old and still working on being a better man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lifelong journey, like with everything. You can't wake up one morning and expect to be perfect. You're going to have days where you give out bad reactions. You're going to have days where you acted immaturely and you wish you didn't. But what's important is that you look at that and you reflect and you're like, okay, I'm going to improve tomorrow. I'm going to be better tomorrow.
So I guess what I could say is that, in my opinion, that I feel like the core thing for being a man is always understanding that there's more growth in life. I feel like that's like the main thing that every man should understand, is that instead of believing that you're perfect, or that you'll be you're always at the best, you have to understand that there's always things to learn from. There's always a lesson to be learned. There's always growth to be had.
In order to do that, you have to stay on your purpose. Like if you have a purpose in life, or if you're trying to figure out your purpose in life, that's the only way you're going to be able to grow and stuff. And that's what I think is to be a man, staying on track with what you're doing or how you believe will be the right thing to do.
Definitely agree with y'all. And keep it in the shorter sense, you just got to handle your shit, bro. Like, all your responsibilities, all your mental goals, all your personal goals, physical, you just got to handle your shit. You just got to be on top of it. So.
And also, I don't think, I wanted to bring it up, I don't think being a protector is that bad as a thing.
We said being a protector is fun. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's belittling people while protecting them. Like, I feel like there's a way to protect people without without making them feel like they're less of a person by allowing you to protect them.
It's
know?
like
too much of a good thing to be a bad thing.
There are situations where it's needed. Like if you're outside with your sister, any woman, and you're just walking to the store, you don't have to stand right next to me, hold my hand, don't look this way. You don't have to press at every nigga that's looking at her. You don't gotta do shit like that. But let's say you are out and there's a present danger. There's a visible danger. Of course you're gonna be protective. Of course that's a good thing.
Especially making that female feel like she can't protect herself kind of makes it feel like, damn, are you really protecting me? Like,
Is this how you really view me?
Yeah. And that's not even just against like women. It's just people in general. Whether they be a woman, a transgender, or even just another man or a boy. Like, I feel like there's just a very protective aura that you can have, and like you could give that out to anyone. You could have a very caring and protective energy for anyone in your circle or anyone around you, But as long as you do that without belittling said person, then I feel like you are on the path of knowing that you are a man, you know, or like you are, you know, what a great figure of what a man is. But I hope that answered the question.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that answered the question. But next, you know, it's funny that that was all the first topic. I didn't even get into the second topic.
Hey, fuck it.
Fuck it.
But the second topic I wanted to get into was Sharandre, you wanted to talk about quitting on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
So,
You
what
quitting
do
the
you mean by
podcast?
No,
Nah,
not
fuck
quitting.
that? Like,
Just
what do you mean?
quitting in general. Like, so like, I'm gonna put this in a scenario. Let's say you have a passion for something, you love it so much, but you just don't know how to grasp it. You don't know how to handle your time and like put your efforts into that passion. So you're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done with this. I don't want to do it no more. That situation right there, I feel like that's just when you fail. As soon as you quit is when you fail immediately, because it's about getting to your goals in a certain sense that you gotta sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And when your goals are like fully complete, you'll look back and you'll be like, maybe I shouldn't have quit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe me quitting and me quitting wasn't the move. You know what I'm saying? So just like how you said with your dancing, you feel me? You said that it's not your personal goal, that you didn't feel like it was your primary thing, but you never quit it.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? That situation specifically is kind of like, yo, quitting is kind of just like, yo, you're just giving up on everything. You're just putting everything away for something that's not even, how can I say, you're not gaining from quitting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
You haven't even fully tried. You haven't
Yeah.
fully gave it your all.
Yeah.
I feel like once you fully give it your all, and once you fully
Yeah.
understand what it is, then I feel like it's okay to quit. It's okay to just to be on the other side of it. Like, you also have to know when to quit.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
But then don't just quit and do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Quit and do something
Yeah,
else.
taking
Find
risk. Taking risk is the one key to success. You can't bring one successful person to me that has not taken a risk.
Yeah, I feel like quitting is only I wouldn't say valid, but I'm gonna just use that word for now.
A temporary solution.
I think it's only valid when you have a valid
Or
reason,
appropriate.
an appropriate reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like quitting is only appropriate when you have a valid reason for why you want to quit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For why you want to quit, you have to have a backup plan. You know what I'm saying? And like there needs to be something that and this has to, I feel like this has to be something that is unsolvable in a way, because I feel like a lot of people, they quit when the solution to their problem of why they're quitting is something that could have been solved if they took a little extra time to think about what the solution could have been. Because I feel like a lot of people quit with no solution.
Yeah.
You know?
But at the same time, I feel like the word quit is also used very negatively, because quitting could also be a sign of growth. You know, like, for example, the Black Okage, right?
I don't want to say quitting could be a sign of hope.
No,
Moving on.
no, not hope. I said growth.
Or growth.
Yeah,
Moving on.
If you like the Black Okage, he used
There's
to
different
do.
levels to it.
Quitting is like you just stop.
Yeah, he used to do a bunch of trolling and a bunch of like very ignorant shit on YouTube, and he quit doing that, and now he's doing something else that
Well,
is
no,
more.
but I feel like quitting is the wrong word. Like Julio said, moving on is what the right word is. Because what the Black Hokage did was he said that he literally just dropped the video yesterday. He was talking about him, like when he was younger. He started doing YouTube when he was 17. He's 30 now. He started doing YouTube when he was 17. And when he started, like, he was doing a whole bunch of like rants and shit, and like, you know, he was always he had like a collection of snapbacks. He was spending all his money on that type of stuff, and then he kept getting copyright strikes on all his videos. You know what I'm saying? He felt like he was wasting his money, and then he took the chance to realize himself. He was just like, this isn't really getting me anywhere. It's time for me to move forward and see where I can take this. I can take this.
But that also goes back to what Nichols said, is to know when to quit. If you know when to quit, like, all right, this right here, I want to keep doing it, but the formula is not working.
that's not
I
quitting.
have to
But
quit this formula that works
quitting
out.
is stopping.
The
Moving
situation,
on
yeah.
is
In
the
that
right
situation,
word.
if he got all those strikes and he was spending his money, he was like, you know what, I'm done with you
Yeah,
two.
if he quit,
That's
he would
That's quitting.
doing
And if he quit, where would he be right now?
But
guess
what
with
he
me, I
did
feel
was
like-
what he did was he moved on.
Now, I
He
feel
moved forward.
with me, I feel like there's layers to quitting. Like, I guess with you, I see quitting as like an overall thing that you do. Me, there's a layer to it. Like level 1 quitting is moving on. Level 2 and 3 is like, oh, fuck all this shit. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, but then at that point, you're just giving quitting your own definition.
It's an excuse.
I mean, what I was gonna say is I have a huge problem with quitting, like huge, and I'm still learning to get over it. Like right now, I'm working on a script, and every day I'll sit down on my laptop and I'll try to write, and then most days I'm just like, fuck, like I don't know where to go with this. I don't know what to write. I give up, and I'll try again. I'll try again. And I'll try again.
It's not quitting.
But I do quit because when I sit down, I don't accomplish what I set out to do, and I just stop.
I'd say you're taking it on your own pace, because people don't write scripts overnight. You know what I'm saying? It'd be quitting if you was like, you know what, I'm done doing this shit because I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm not gonna write the script at all now. Time to move on to another one. That's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Quitting on that specific
how I'm
project.
seeing it is I'm quitting what I set out to do that day. That day I set out, yo, I'm gonna write a scene today. I go to my laptop and I look at the screen and I'm just like, fuck, I don't know what to write.
That's where
That's quitting.
you see. But
I stop. I don't even try to write something.
that's
Like,
where our definition or our interpretation of quitting is different. Because I wouldn't say you're a quitter for that.
Yeah.
I would just say you just put it on pause.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel where Julio's coming.
I feel where he's coming from. I see where he's coming from, but I wouldn't say he's a quitter for it.
Well,
I still think he's writing it in his own pace, because, you know, as creators we have those blocks, and especially since we do a lot of things during the day, it's kind of like you don't really set out to specifically focus on it.
well, can I ask you a question? All right, so when you're like writing a script, right? When you I guess stop, is your mentality is I'm gonna get back to this later because I have writer's block right now, or is your mentality is I don't really want to do this at all right now?
Yeah, it's like I look at it, I'm like, fuck, I don't know where to go with this. I quit for today. Maybe and then I'll go again and I'll keep trying, and eventually I will write something. But that day, because I'm really trying to be consistent. I'm trying, because there are niggas who work every day. If niggas are working every day, I need to be working every day. So
you're
for
quitting.
me, I'm quitting.
So you're quitting. You're quitting being consistent.
Yeah.
You know, like I could understand that.
I'm quitting being consistent, and I'm quitting my work for that day because every day I set out to write a
Yeah, I feel like that's where I get where Julio's coming from, because I'm not. I've kind of had like a weird mix, because a lot of my life is kind of the opposite for me. I never knew when to quit, you know, and it's not in a good way, because there was a lot of times where I would put myself in bad situations, but I would keep doing it because I kept telling myself I have to do this because I set a goal for this, and even though it's fucking me up horrible right now, I have to keep doing it because I kept telling myself I have to, and then it would end up deteriorating my mental health because I wouldn't let myself give up. And I feel like in a way that kind of brings into I think you said, or either you said, sometimes you have to know when to quit, because sometimes quitting isn't a bad thing, you know, because sometimes you have to tell yourself this is horrible for me right now, this is doing the worst for me.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
In that situation, were you gaining as an outcome? Like, was the outcome you were gonna gain something? Like, even personally, financially, mentally?
It was more so I think I'm gonna get something out of this.
Okay,
Like I think if I keep going down this path, I'm gonna get something out of this.
I feel like just even for personal growth, like if you're in a situation and you feel uncomfortable, if you're in a situation and you're like grinding towards something and you're comfortable, that's not the situation you should be in. Because working towards something that you should be growing, like just constantly growing, and you're just comfortable, you're staying stagnant, it's kind of like that's just a bad move.
You have to allow yourself to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, you have to allow yourself to be
grow.
beaten up. You have to allow yourself to be.
Have you guys heard of David Goggins?
No.
Yeah, you have? That man, my cousin put me on to him, but he has literally mastered his mind. Like, basically, he went through Navy SEALs training 3 times, failed twice, and went through it 3 times until he passed. I think it was 300 pounds, and now he's like a super, he like does like triathlons. He does super like insane. I don't even know what to call those, but he puts his body to the test and his mind. And he says that you can train your mind to enjoy the pain. Like you can train your mind to find like not even just satisfaction, but like euphoria.
Basically,
in
mind
the
over
struggle.
matter.
Yeah, but insane, like to an extreme.
Yeah.
And basically, he does that with everything in his life. Like, so when you say there's a right time to quit, I can see that, but then I can also see it from David Goggins' perspective, where it's like you never really have to quit.
Yeah.
Like if you keep going, your mind is gonna adapt. Your body's gonna adapt,
and you'll get that thrill.
You're gonna be able to keep going. Like you're just not gonna have to stop.
Yeah, I definitely see that because, say, like you remember your first time dancing, right?
Yeah.
You wasn't really good, right?
No, I was horrible.
And then you look back into that and you're just like, shit, I'm nice now, and it's just kind of like, yo, I could just keep elevating. You just keep breaking limits. I feel like that's just how humans work. Like we sit in a point where we're just like, yo. This shit
can't do no more.
Yeah, this shit is fucking me up right now.
So a year later, and you're like, that's
yo, facts.
Yeah.
20 push-ups. I did that shit.
I guess I can see that because in a way, now that I think about it, that mentality that like sometimes me not knowing when to quit has also, it's also the reason why I am the person I am today.
Yeah.
Because the way I look at myself is that, and I've actually had this conversation with Martin. And it was about the fact that it was about the fact that in a way, like, and we laughed about this, but it was like I told Martin that I feel like I go through so much in my life so that I can be a lesson for all my friends, and it's weird because in a way it's very true, because if anybody has seen everything I've gone through, it's Martin, because he's been with me my entire life, and like Martin has seen me struggle time and time again. Like Martin has seen me fucking break down, mental checked out, has seen me at my most depressed moments, my highest moments, just me completely like broken as a person sometimes. Like there's been like times where I've called Martin crying because I feel like I cannot do life anymore. Like I've broken down on multiple occasions, and it's because I've always put myself in situations where like there's sometimes I don't know when to quit, or sometimes like I feel like I have to learn something. But in a way, I kind of look now that I feel like I'm a lot more aware of my mental and I'm a lot more in control of my mental space. I look at those situations as lessons. And because I didn't quit and I allowed myself to be broken, I also allowed myself to rebuild as a stronger person or as a greater person, which is why I feel like as a person I have so much to say now, because I've been broken down so many times. And I know 100% it's gonna happen. I'm only 21. It's gonna happen so many more times in my life. But I feel like I've become so open to the fact that I'm gonna keep trying something because I know that this is something I'm passionate about, or I know it's something I want to do. And even if at times I feel like I'm down, or I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm stuck, I will allow my mental to find a way around that, space. Or I have to allow myself to be broken down first and have the will to rebuild my body so that I know I can continue to do something or do it in a better and a more efficient way.
I can relate to that because, I mean, you guys know, like, I just be doing shit. Like, I just up and went to Europe alone because I had a problem with being alone. And I was just like, fuck it, I was with it. I was with it.
I was in the whole time,
bro.
I'm playing about it. It was getting a little too serious. I had to get a little chuckle in there.
I like, you know how for you, for you, the unpredictable
Mm-hmm.
kind of like attracts you.
Yeah.
For me, the difficult attracts me. The things that are super difficult for me, facing them head on, that attracts me.
You know what attracts
That's
me?
always good.
You know what attracts me?
Challenges.
Fear. That's why I started skating.
That's fine.
Like I was afraid
Yo,
of
facts.
busting my. Like I fell. Y'all know.
That's facts.
I was
That's
there.
That's a good
fucking-
example.
I was there.
Y'all don't know
That's
this. This
a good
man
example.
Nichols fought his board. This
Yo,
man
bro.
had black eye.
I'm telling you right now, son. It was one of the worst falls I think I've ever seen.
But that shit
And
built
that
you.
shit was on. But you know what it was? I was afraid, and I said because I'm afraid, now I gotta do it. You feel me? And I started skating. And now I'm good. I'm nice.
That's how I am with everything, bro. And I feel like because of that, I feel like you've had your experiences of difficulty and hardships because of your attraction to the unpredictable. I've had that experience because of my attraction to facing my like inner challenges head on, face on. Nichols has had it through fear. Whatever scares him, he wants to overcome it. We're different, but we're different in terms of what
Motivates.
draws us.
Yeah. But
The end product
It's
is
the same.
And you know what's interesting? I feel like that's why. I feel like that's why people like us get along, in a certain way, because I feel like we all have that want to pursue something that goes against us, and we have that will to want to fight that thing that goes against us. Like it's like you know, we're two forces that are attacking each other, and in that that interaction, we're learning how to fight what's going against us. So now that thing that once went against us, we use it in our favor, and now it's going with us.
And we all do it in different ways, so we help each other develop as people. We help each other grow. Because me personally, I know for a fact that if something scares me, it's very difficult for me to face it.
That's why I love you. Okay.
I'm not gonna hold
Yeah,
you.
laughing. I'm dead.
I don't like the unpredictable either.
I don't like the difficult. Like I try and move my way around the difficult, but I've started realizing that you can't run away from difficult situations. Like you gotta just attack them head on like that, like you just said.
And you see, that's been my entire life. Just literally going for the unpredictable and then trying to make it work in my favor. Like that's what I've literally been doing for most of my life. Like even like, you know, obviously like with relationships, or when it came to like dancing, or like, you know, when it came to doing anything in my life, literally I feel like the main thing that allowed me to grow so far was because of my entire life I've just been like, this doesn't feel right, but let me fight it so that I can allow myself to become stronger. Cause alright, in high school, right, for those who don't know, I took ballet for 4 years in high school. When I started in the 9th grade, I hated it. I used to skip dance class all the time. Like I used to just not show up. Whenever I did show up, I did the least. I always wanted to sit out. I always acted like I didn't want to do anything, because I was just like, this makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to do this. I don't really like it. But then the next year in the 10th grade, I told myself I gotta stop halting myself from growing. Because who am I to stop myself from growing? Because if I continue to say I don't want to do this because it makes me uncomfortable, or I don't want to do this because of a certain reason, then I'm just going to stay in the same place forever.
And really, that's such an insignificant reason for anything, right?
Exactly.
Just because something makes you uncomfortable, you decide not to do it.
You're stopping yourself
regardless
from
of
growing.
the benefit. That in no way, shape, or form can be a good thing.
Yeah.
I guess for me, what like drives me to do shit is the what if. So like, I'd be like, what if I did it, or what if I didn't do it? You know.
Yeah.
So like, if I was in your shoes, with the ballet thing, I would have been like, oh, what if I just tried it and I actually liked it? You know. I always try to see like.
Yeah, because right after I told myself that I need to try something, like I started really taking the classes seriously, you know, and I started taking ballet, and then like by the 12th grade, I was really good at it, you know. And obviously, I still made certain mistakes because me personally, I could right now be a dance teacher if I made the right decisions. Because in 12th grade I had the opportunity to take my dance regents, and I knew for a fact that I could have passed, and I would have had the extra stamp on my diploma that would have, like, I could have brought that to places, and people would have been like, oh, sure, you could be a dance teacher, but I stopped myself from taking that regents because I felt uncomfortable, or I felt like, oh, I made myself feel nervous. I feel like, oh, maybe I don't really need this, you know what I'm saying? And in doing that, I stopped myself from growing.
Was part of it because of how you feared being viewed by other people?
It was more so about, like, my interest in dance was slowly dwindling, but in that situation, it was more so like, I just don't want to do this because I just don't really feel like I need it. You know what I'm saying? But in a situation, if I was thinking in a situation of growth, then I could have told myself that even if I end up losing, like, interest in dance at one point, that would have just been a nice thing to have. Because let me tell you, like, all you guys know Joel, like, for those who don't know, Lord Heck, he's a dude I dance with. If you watch my dance videos, dude with the blue hair, like, he is a dance teacher at a school. You know what I'm saying? And even though he's working on his own thing, that's just a nice thing to have on the side. You know what I'm saying? Making good money being a dance teacher.
Because you're
doing
that's
what you love.
Yeah. And I could have allowed myself to also have that opportunity, but I stopped myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, putting myself in situations like that, I gotta realize that by not allowing yourself to try things or see things out, you're stopping yourself from growing, or you're stopping yourself from opportunities.
You're just always your greatest enemy.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Another thing that stopped me from quitting as much is being grateful for what I have. Because I know there's always somebody out there who has it worse than I do. Somebody who always has a situation that's more dire than my situation. So I always try and capitalize off that, like, yo, I don't really have a reason, because if there's people out there with worse situations that have made it, like, for example, Jay-Z. Jay-Z was selling crack, bro. Jay-Z was down at the bottom, bro. So, and look where that nigga's at now. You feel me? Shit like that. Like, you just, you gotta take what you have and just make it work, because there are people that were under you, that were rock bottom, that are at the top now.
Another thing that some people should adapt to prevent themselves from quitting is understand that everybody has their own path.
Yo, facts.
Like, sometimes you could be doing something and you'll be like, damn, I'm this old and I'm still at this point,
facts.
but this nigga is 10 times younger than me, and this nigga's a millionaire.
Your
And
goals do not have a time limit, bro.
yeah, that shit will really fuck you up.
Peter Dinklage was an accountant until he was 40, and then he was like,
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. The nigga from Game of Thrones.
I've never watched it.
Oh, the midget dude.
The midget.
Oh, wait, is a little person I didn't want to be on.
I remember him. Y'all watch Death at the Funeral?
Yeah,
That
he's in
nigga,
that
yeah.
too.
Hey, yo.
Yeah,
I don't know things.
Bro,
I just drink.
40. He was like, yo, I've had a passion for acting my whole life. Let me give
Yo,
it a real
facts.
shot. And look at this nigga now.
Yeah.
At 40.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, your goals don't have.
He's a
we
star
don't have
actor
the
in a
time
board
limit.
show.
Really. Everybody got their own path.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, we're running out. We're pretty much out of time, so let's wrap this up.
All right, yo, thank you for tuning in. It's your boy Nicholas Bryce. Follow me at Nicholas Bryce on Instagram and YouTube. Wow.
Yo, it's your boy Stefan. You can follow me on Instagram at SXVE_SARU.
Yo, is Muzzy. You can follow me on Instagram at Muzzy World, MUZZYWRLD.
yo, it's Julio. You can follow me on Instagram at Schoolyard Productions.
Yo, Chandre, follow me on Instagram at dreamville.smith.
Follow the Factology Podcast Instagram at what Factology?
Factology Podcast.
Wow, okay, boom.
Our Cash App is $Factology.
Sure.
Cop the merch.
Cop
It's
the
about
merch.
to, it's about to
We're gonna drop
disappear
that
soon.
next week.
Cop the
New
merch,
merch.
The old merch. Copping old merch too, because it's about to be.
Going forever.
Is there?
So want
So
exclusive pieces.
on that note,
Shout out to Martin, because he was holding it down. I
Yo,
was
shout
keeping-
shout out to Martin. You know what I'm saying?
He was holding it down. I was
Yes,
keeping
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
movements.
But yeah, on that note, we're gonna end it. All right, see y'all next week.
Peace out.
Deuces.